Welcome back to chapter 18 tutorial on Excel VBA Basic to Advanced. In this chapter, you will learn the types of error in VBA code and the methods of handling the errors. First of all, let's look into the types of error. In VBA, there are basically two types of error. One is the compile error and the another is runtime error. First of all, let's look into the compile error. For that, let me click on this chapter 18 sheet. Click on Visual Basic. Here I have already created this module. First of all, create the sub procedure, that is sub space types underscore of underscore error, open close bracket, then press enter. The compile error in VBA occurs when you do mistake in the VBA language or in the syntax of VBA language, and if you miss some necessary element of the code. Let me show you this practically. Here let me write this code, which is range a1 dot value equal to VBA. Now if I run this code, I'll get the compile error. Here you see the compile error is given. The potential cause of error is given here, that is expected list separator or closing bracket, because I have missed to put the closing bracket after this double quotation. Click on OK, then click here, include the closing bracket after the double quotation. Now if you run the code, here you see VBA is written in A1 cell. So if you do mistake in the VBA language or in the syntax, you will get the compile error. The next cause of compile error is if you miss some necessary element in the code, then you will get that error. For this, let me write here a if statement. If range a1 dot value equal to VBA. After the if statement, I must include then or goto. If I press enter without using the then here, then I'll get the compile error, and here you see expected then or goto is given. Click on OK, put then after if statement, press enter. This time no error message is given. So these are the cause of getting the compile error in VBA. If you want to disable the error pop-up, then you can go to the tools tab, click on options, click on editor tab, then deselect auto syntax check option, then click on OK. In this case, if you do a mistake in the code, then you will not get the error message pop-up, but the code will change to red color. Here you see the code changed to red because in the if statement, then is not included. If I include then after the if, here you see the red color changed to black color. It means the code doesn't have any error. If you do error in the syntax, press enter. Here you see the color will change to red, from which you should understand there is a mistake in the code. If you want to enable error message pop-up, then again you can go to tools tab, options, select this auto syntax check, then click on OK. After enabling auto syntax check, if you do mistake, then the error message will pop up. The another type of error that you get while writing VBA code is the runtime error. Runtime error will pop up after you run the code. There are different causes of getting the runtime error. The most common cause of getting the runtime error are the type mismatch, division by 0, etc. Let me show the runtime error practically. For this, let me create here a new sub procedure, that is sub run underscore time underscore error, open close bracket, press enter. First of all, let me define here a variable, that is dim I as integer. Here I have defined this I variable as a numeric data type. Now let's set the value for I variable, that is I equal to range a1 dot value. Let's write here further code, that is range a2 dot value equal to I variable multiplied with 200. Now if I run this code, I'll get a runtime error because in this case there is a type mismatch between the variable and value for the variable. The variable is set as numeric data type, but the value for the variable is a text data type, because in A1 cell there is a text data. Let's hit on the run button. Here you see the runtime error message box is given and the cause of the error is type mismatch. Click on the debug button to see where the error is. Here you see the error code is highlighted. If you put the numeric value here in the cell A1, for example 20, then run the code, this time you will not get the error message because this code doesn't contain any error. So that was the first cause of getting runtime error. The second cause of getting the runtime error is the division by 0 error. For this, let me write here further codes, that is range a4 dot value equal to range a2 dot value divided by range a3 dot value. In this case, we don't have any value here in the A3 cell. So when the code try to divide this 4000 by 0, then it will throw a runtime error message. Let's run this code. Here you see the runtime error message is given and the cause of error is division by 0. Click on this debug tab. Here you see this line of code is highlighted. It means this code has error because this code is trying to divide a number from 0. If you put here a value in the A3 cell, then go to VBA and run the code. This time the code will execute because there is no any error. So that was about the two types of error that we get while writing the VBA code. Now let's look into how to handle the errors. Basically there are two types of error handling method. One is on error resume next statement and another is on error go to a specific label. First let's look into on error resume next statement. For this let me create here a new sub procedure, that is sub space error underscore handling bracket open bracket close. Let me delete these previous values from here. Let's write here some line of codes. Now let's run this code step by step by pressing the F8 key. Here you see the first code is executed and 500 is written here in the A1 cell. Let's press the F8 key again. In this case, the runtime error message box is displayed because there is a division by 0 error. Click on the debug tool. Here you see this code is trying to divide the value in A1 cell from the value in A2 cell. The A2 cell doesn't have any value or the 0 value. That is why the division by 0 error is displayed. In this case, the runtime error will prevent the further codes from running. In this case, we can skip the code that has error and resume executing all the remaining codes by using the on error resume next error handler. To use on error resume next statement, click at the sub procedure name, press enter, then type here on error resume next. Now when VBA finds an error, then it will skip this error code, then start executing the remaining codes. For this, let me first stop this code, then run the code. Here you see the further code is executed by skipping this code that has error. So this is the first method of handling the error. The second method of handling the error is by using on error go to statement. For that, let me disable this on error resume next code by putting the single quotation before it, then press enter, then use here on error go to statement. Then we have to put the label name, that is for example ABC. It means when VBA finds an error, then it will go to this ABC label. For this, we have to create here the ABC label below the code. For this, let me click here and create this ABC label. For that, put ABC, then put the colon symbol. You can give here any other name for the label, then press enter. Now while executing the code, when VBA finds the error, then it will jump to this specific label by skipping all the remaining codes here. Let me write here the code, that is msgbox space double quotation. This code has an error, double quotation. Now what happens is, when you run this code, when this error is found, it will jump to this specific label and start executing the code written here in this label. For this, first of all, let me delete the values from here. Go to VBA, then use the step into tool for step by step execution of the code. For that, press F8 key in the keyboard. Here you see the first line of code is selected. When you press F8, 500 is written here in this A1 cell. Press F8 again, and here you see it jumps into this ABC label because it found error here in this code. Press F8 again, and here you see a message box is displayed which says this code has an error. So that was all about the types of error you get in VBA code and the methods of handling the error. In the next chapter, we will learn about the 3 types of debugging windows in VBA. These are locals window, watch window, and the immediate window. If you want to practice this, you can download the practice workbook file from the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in next chapter.